Randolph. Hey Randolph, how you doing?
Doing good.
So you've been here in Habilitat, 2 weeks of FasterEFT Addiction Protocol training. How's it been for you?
It's been awesome. It's everything I thought it would be. It really is a marathon. I mentally had prepared myself for it because I knew the intensity it would be in the sessions and the length from 9 in the morning to 9 in the evening. So I was prepared for that, but to see the transformation on people. I think I shared with you before, this is how I developed that deep desire to study the FasterEFT was from one of the YouTube videos, and it was one of the Habilitat. And it's where you did a pre-session and a post-session interview. And the post-session interview was incredible. You could just see their face was like relaxed. They weren't nervous, they were just kind of laid back. You opened up the drugs. There was no power over them at all. And that picture, I said, I want to know that. And if I can help people with that, I can help people with anything.
Definitely. So before you got here, obviously you had to have some emotions about being here the first day or two, and then of course, you know, we're training you guys in the protocol. How was it for you emotionally?
I felt like I handled it pretty well. The learning something new and being in a new environment, and especially with the environment that's here at Habilitat right now, it's been sort of tense. So that added another element of complexity to it. But everything worked out just fine. We were introduced the first day with orientation, and then day 2 we are put with a master practitioner to work with. And so watching them, and so you're slowly assimilated into it. It's not like you just pulled up here and then you gave me a client, a resident here to work on, and threw me to the wolves. It was there was plenty of preparation with the practitioners and coaching as we went along, and the debriefing afterwards.
Also, I guess we also gave you a long list of videos that we have, some secret videos that you're to watch.
Yes.
To educate you about drugs, what to be expected here. Was that helpful as well?
I was already mentally prepared from my background of having worked in addiction settings in the past, and preparing for what the mindset of that type of person, what they're going through. But it was more detailed information, and so when we're working on the people, those elements are very important because we're trying to clean up the parts and pieces, and it's not a matter of just wiping out whatever was there. It's once you blow it up, there's still fragments left around there, and you have to figure out which fragment you're missing, and having a knowledge of what the drug process is very helpful to know, go back and what to search for to make sure that you're pulling everything out that you need to get out of them.
Right, definitely. So, working the protocol and working with individuals, you know, of course, you've seen the video before and after on YouTube. It's much different than just that when you're here for real. What's the difference?
Well, the difference is what goes on between, well, what's different is seeing what goes on between the pre-interview and the post-interview. When you do the intake and you hear the life story of what, and all the inroads that's been put in, and the belief systems and all those things are built up, them feeling broken and that there's no good in them. So you don't see that, you just see the before and after. But and then the process of taking them to show them how their mind works, and removing those things offline so they're not running in their minds.
So basically what you're saying is the session.
The session, yes.
What we do inside the session. Because most people, you know, they watch these 2 videos and it is amazing. Pre and post, wow.
Yeah.
But the work between those 2 points is big. Yes,
I had a doctor at home in Washington, D.C. who I was telling her about the program. I said, there's no way you can do that way. And I said, well, it is. And so I look forward when I get back to showing the videos again, and maybe even the one that I did where we were able to tap down the 10 for the addiction and the emotional memories and the traumas they had down to 0. And they came in here and they didn't want to do it anymore. So it's hard to believe for this doctor that you can actually do something like that. And I said, it is. And I said, no, it's got to be more than that to it. And I said, well, there is more to it, but that's done in the session. And it's not just something, we're not waving a magic wand or anything like that.
No, we're doing real work, big work. And the cool thing about FasterEFT and what we do is we go to, I always say, the guy with the match in his hand, which is the memory, the emotional driving force, the belief system that keeps them in alignment, and of course the emotional attachments to places, people, and things. And when we dismantle that and put them back into proper perspective to where they really want to be with their family, they really want to have a life, they want to have children, and they want to have a productive existence instead of being a slave.
That is key. I believe one of the best Habitat videos I've seen was one from last January where you and Deirdre were talking about there's nothing constant but change, and the other element was that it said we're looking for the man striking the matches, and that resonates with me, because you can put out fires and put all these situations, but if you don't dig down deep enough, and this protocol that we use that you've developed does that. It gets down to the root problem. It could be when they're 4 or 5 years. Their 4 or 5-year-old is still running their life.
That is absolutely true. And another
their lives are being run by a 4 or 5-year-old who was hurt at home, or may have, and it's all distortion of memories. To one sibling, it may look like one thing, and to another, they may interpret it a different way. You know, you have all of these people living in the same house. Why did one of them develop this situation, this addiction, when the other ones are like out doing whatever they want to do and being successful and carrying on their lives? Why did one take a hold of it? So it's a matter of how their mind grips a hold of it and snaps that picture in their mind and implants it with that emotion and basically superglues it to it. And this is the antidote here, this protocol, to unglue those.
So if you're coming from the addiction world too, then you know there's a conflict in belief systems here. You know, one system says it's a disease, it's incurable, and you're going to have to learn to live with it and deal with it the rest of your life. And then when they watch a video where we come in, it's really there. And then the next segment, it's gone. And with that thinking system, it does not fit your system.
It does not. I mentioned my friend, the doctor. I believe that in the back of their mind, they're thinking it's a disease. You can't just go in and wipe that out in an hour. No, we're not wiping it totally out in 2 hours. We may come back.
We could. Sometimes we do.
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But we may. Y'all been coming for years here, and y'all have seen the transition and the transformation over the period of time, and that's y'all have seen the fruits of all that. Yeah. But yes, but the major work, the changing the ground beliefs is what's important. So it is a different paradigm for people to think in, that it's a disease, and how can you do something like that? Because I have other people I know who are in AA and religiously go to their meetings and things every day, and I tell them about what I do, and they get the perplexed look on their face saying, well, how can it be that way? Because it's an addiction, you know.
It's a disease.
And so I have to graciously not hurt their feelings or whatever, but it just hopefully just plant that seed in their mind that it is, there's something that happened that they've latched onto that's causing them to do this. And here, what we got, this facility, it's addiction, but it could be the same thing, the other thing. It could be overweight, it could be overeating, it could be a phobia, it could be bad relationship issues. It's just that these people have an unaccepted form of self-abuse that's not accepted by the legal system or by society, whereas overeating a bucket of ice cream is an acceptable self-abuse, but they all originate from the same thing. It's like you said, they haven't learned to deal with their pain.
And I think another thing too is, like a young man working here, none of his family members are addicts. I mean, he was never an addict. He didn't have addictive behaviors at all. And then at 19 years old, he went to a party, took a drug, and all of a sudden the disease kicked in? Or was it something else?
Yeah.
And then, you know, like with Jeff, who's been 17 years free from heroin, where did the disease go? If it is a disease, it's there. I mean, the mindset is not a healthy mindset, and it keeps you in a place that you'll never get out, because we have individuals who don't understand what's going on inside the mind. Don't know that there's links of emotional ties, and there's behaviors and actions and all this stuff. And so what we do is educate our clients, educate the world, and then they can too be free from whatever it is that they're using.
I think of one example there where I said, I grew up in a great home. My parents are great. My brothers and sisters are great. They're fine. They got own life. Well, I don't know why I have this. But when we started digging down to where this came from, when he was a little kid, his brothers and sisters were older than him and would run off and leave him. They would go play with their friends, or he would be left to stay with them, for them to take care of him, and he would be put in the basement. So, you stay down there where the older friends were up there. So it's a wanting to fit in. There's like not feeling they're old enough, and they lose control. And sometimes you'll see it's about they feel they've lost power. They're powerless because they had no control over that. And once they realize that the power comes from within, I had somebody tell me yesterday that they had nothing good about them after I had heard good things like this person is sacrificial with their life. They like knowing what people like, so that when they get around it, they can please them. And there was lots of things. He loves taking care of his daughter. There's lots of wrong things, but they can't see, all they see is this. They don't see the good in themselves. You're a good man. You're compassionate. You care about your family. You care about your daughter. There's lots of good in you. So they're not broken. They're not broken. They're just running bad programs, as you say.
Yeah. And you can change programs if you know how.
Yes. And we change them in the session. We flip them right there, and then they go, and it's amazing how the mind works. And I don't quite grasp all of it sometimes, but I don't have to. Just go with it because it's working, and then maybe some point in time in the future we'll fully understand exactly the mechanism, because there's like several different thoughts out there as to why what we do works, but it doesn't matter. It works.
So you came to FasterEFT. You obviously saw a video one time, and then you bought the home study course.
Yes, I'm a track B. And there have been many other videos. I started out, someone told me about it. I asked them, where did you learn this? And they said, Robert Smith. And I Googled it and came up with Healing Magic, the YouTube channel. And I started watching the videos. Some I played them on loop. I might have watched them 20 to 30 times. I mean, just let it loop to get it in me. If it was a particular, they're categorized by issues and things online. And you can do the search and the Healing Magic bar up there on the YouTube page, and I would loop them, and then I got to where I was trying it on friends, and then I heard you one day say, you better get don't do it on anybody unless you've got an ID number. So I guess I better get the kit and get me an ID number then. And I got the kit, and I stayed at home, and I really like that because as my background is physical rehabilitation, and I've studied and been to many other therapies, so I kind of get the grasp of how to learn that type of protocol and stuff. So once you learn one, you use the same mental process to learn other ones. So I followed like 3 gurus or lines of thought in the rehab world, and all those have always looking for the root problem. I've always been looking for the root problem, but now I found, like your theme song says, I found what I've been looking for. This is the root of it. But the track B it's a lot of work. I know some days you would think it'd be easier to go into the course, but we watch a lot of videos. We have to take a lot of notes, and the exams. I've taken the exams. Some days it take me 2 days to work through the exam, so it's not easy. And then you get to work on other practitioners. You meet up on Facebook, and that's been really good to develop relationships with them and see their lives change. I've seen people's lives changed on my track B'ers, other therapists. Their lives have changed. And they'll tell me we've been working on like 3 months, and they'll say, I had nothing, nothing to get down. I said, wait a second. Do you not remember what you were 3 months ago? You have totally changed. Your confidence level's up. We're getting a clear picture of what you want. And I think they forget sometimes as well. So that support, I like that. There's a really good community on Facebook, and you find the ones that you really mesh with well and encourage each other. And so, much like here, I think my experience here, the best part of this experience has been with seeing the people and the changes, but I was really blown away by the team. Like I've told people, I could have invited any one of them to my home, never met them before, just said, come in, make yourself at home. And I was wondering why that is today, and I think it's because that they've known each other for a while, and they're familiar with each other, and they've developed this cohesion among each other. They've been through things together, and I think I got to ride piggyback of the benefit of the years of them developing those relationships. So anyway, that's been the biggest thing, is developing friends and contacts.
Yeah. So your experience in rehabilitation,
It's awesome. It's awesome, and I hope to be invited back and to be able to see, as y'all have, the transition of the people as we move forward on that. So,
very good.
Anyway, so I'm very grateful you gave me the opportunity to come.
Great. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.